That's right. So, well, we're going to do some songs for you from the southwest part of Virginia. Mostly that's where the wellspring of these songs is. And that's because I was born there. I was born in a coal mining community in Jewel Ridge in Virginia, called Jewel Ridge. It's in the little part of Virginia that just kind of gets smushed between the other states down there at the bottom. And I didn't grow up there full time though. I grew up there in the summers because my parents had me when they were 17, and I was in their senior yearbook. The very smallest blue tornado there ever was. And in fact, they were voted best parents, which implies there was some competition in it. And I agree, they have been best parents. So they've held their title, I do believe. And my dad got a scholarship to go to college in North Carolina. So we moved away. We were one of the few to move away from home there. They still don't get it, that we don't live there. They keep thinking we're just going to come back, but we haven't, even after all this time. But my sister and I did go back every summer. My parents, we lived in big cities like Boston, Massachusetts, or Omaha, Nebraska, or Las Cruces, New Mexico, or Nashville, Tennessee. But my parents would send me and my sister home to where they grew up in Jewel Ridge to live with my grandmothers. And that was a really, really great thing for them to do, because we got to learn what it was like to live in a rural coal mining community. And I got to see the fellas come home with the black faces and the bright white eyes. And I got to worship in my grandmother's church, which was a lot different from the Scotch-Irish Presbyterian churches that we would go to during the year in the big cities. They always had programs and things were formal, and the choirs wore robes and stoles. And at my grandmother's church, anything could happen. And it often did. And that was exciting for a child. I was like, wow, things are wild today, So,
rolling on the floor.
Yes, exactly. And when there's a tissue box under every pew that things are going to occur. And little teeny trash cans too. So that way you can have either option. Well, so the other thing that I got to do was quilt. So I'm going to show you a few quilts tonight so that you can understand a little bit about my quilting heritage with my grandmother. So, oh, welcome. Hello. Come on in. Anyhow, we're going to start out with some songs about my grandmother and about my great-grandmother and about their family. And the first one we want to do for you is called the Tazwell Beauty Queen. Now, I know Ed and Ashley know this song because they were here 2 years ago instead of at the Super Bowl. Thanks. And so this is a song that we wrote for my grandmother's brother, my Uncle Roy Lee. Now, Uncle Roy Lee was destined, as many of the fellas were in Jewel Ridge, to be a coal miner. And he could have done so, and pretty much everyone else did so. But when Uncle Roy Lee was little and he was playing games with other little boys, he knew that he liked to tell everybody what to do. And he recognized that about himself. And he figured in a coal mine, he was just not going to have the opportunity to tell very many people what to do. So he was one of the first fellas in our family to go to college, and he became a high school principal, and he told boys in reformatory schools what to do for his whole life. So that worked out really well for his personality leanings. But he did go down in the coal mines one summer. And the reason that he did was that he was going on senior year of high school, and he didn't have a car. And he was very handsome. He was like the George Clooney of Jewel Ridge. Billy always says that. When you look at his pictures, you're just like, oh. He was just glamorous. But he had no wheels, so it really didn't matter how handsome he was. For the women, he was just like, oh, he can't go anywhere. He can't get off the ridge, So he determined he was going to get a car. So he went down in the coal mines for one summer, He made $3,000, and at the end of the summer, he went down to the Chevy dealer in Richlands and bought a brand new pink Chevy. I mean, the idea was to go out with the girls, and pink was the right color because he had lots and lots of dates. He met my Aunt Phyllis. They got married after graduation. But he was just so popular overall with that pink car that he was voted the May Day King at the end of school year. So we have a great picture of him with his George Clooney head and a paper lame crown and his pink Chevy. You know, so that's Uncle Roy Lee. So we wrote a song for him because he knows what we do. And I think he must have told us this story 10 times before we sort of got the hint that maybe he wanted us to write him a song. So we did, and it's become a favorite. So thanks to Uncle Roy Lee. And Billy has my guitar on with my pink strap and my pink capo, just in honor of Uncle Roy. So the Tazwell Beauty Queen. That has got to be my grandma.
Oh, Roy Lee.
I know. He has to be in everything. It's hard being in a family like mine. All right, we'll do it. We'll do it. If you don't mind the low seam, and if you don't mind the dark, if you don't mind the black face that is every miner's mark, you can make a fortune and you can buy a dream. Go cruising in a Chevy with a Tazwell Beauty Queen. If you don't mind the short fuse, and if you don't mind the smell, if you don't mind a summer in a place as black as hell, you can make a fortune and you can buy a dream. Go cruising in a Chevy with a Tazwell Beauty Queen. You will make a gamble if you'll bet your skin. You can get your wish in tires and chrome and fins. You can make a fortune and you can buy a dream. Go cruising in a Chevy with a Tazwell Beauty Queen. You will make a gamble if you will bet your skin. You can get your wish in tires and chrome and fins. You can make a fortune and you can buy a dream. Go cruising in a Chevy with a Tazwell Beauty Queen. Oh, you might be dusty now, but you'll be coming